What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to find out where you see the biggest eagle flock in the United States. So like I always like to say, guys, I don't own the rights to these articles. I just use them to push along information. This particular article will be linked in the description down below, so please go over there and show them some love. Behold the largest congregation of bald eagles in the United States. Every November, hundreds if not thousands of birds of prey gather in Haines, Alaska to feast on salmon. Despite pandemic-caused shutdowns and travel restrictions across Alaska, a small valley in the southeast still expects its habitual visitors. Bald eagles. In early November, thousands of the birds of prey gather in Haines, Alaska, forming one of the largest congregations of the species in the world. Alaskans often depict their location in the state by using their right hand as a map. With just a pointer finger and a thumb extended, thumb pointing down, the Chilkat Valley, also known as Valley of the Eagles, is where thumbs meets hands on Alaska's panhandle. The Chilkat Valley, a peninsula saddled between glaciated mountain chains and the Chilkat and Chilkoot river systems, is nearly 75 miles north of Juneau. The valley extends from the Canadian border south past the indigenous village of Klukwan. I'm just going to go ahead and apologize now for any of my mispronunciations in this video. I'm trying my best, but sometimes I get things wrong. To the small town of Haines, originally called Dishu by Alaska natives, or End of the Trail. Sitting on the deepest fjord in North America, Haines, population 2,500, can be reached by small plane or ferry from Juneau or by car from Canada. The town draws tourists seeking world-renowned heli-skiing, hiking, local brews, and thriving art scene, and of course, bald eagle sightings. The area is home to about 500 residential eagles that attract visitors year-round, most especially in the fall when migrating birds up the count to historic highs of 3,000. Eagles flock to the Chilkat River flats along the Haines Highway in early November for its unique hydrology. Percolating groundwater keeps late fall runs of chum and coho salmon spawning well into winter months, providing food for the birds. The eagles still have access to the chum salmon well into November and December because there is upwelling in this area that prevents the river from freezing, says Nicole Zeisser, the Haines area management biologist for the Alaska Department of Fish and Game. In 1982, the state of Alaska established the Alaska Chilkat Bald Eagle Preserve, setting aside 48,000 acres of river bottom to protect the eagle habitat and all 5 species of Pacific salmon found there. That same year, a Haines local formed the American Bald Eagle Foundation to educate visitors on the region's unique asset. The foundation serves as both a museum and live raptor center, home to several rehabilitated bird species called avian ambassadors. For the last 25 years, the nonprofit has hosted an annual 4-day festival around the congregation of the Eagles, consisting of a speaker series on local ecology, an artist bazaar, and a film screening. The grand finale, visitors are driven up the highway to witness a rehabilitated eagle release, followed by a banquet dinner. Due to COVID-19 risk and stringent state travel restrictions, the festival, which typically draws around 300 visitors, birders, photographers, and tourists from all over the world, has been canceled, but the bald eagles of course haven't gotten the message, and local residents never tire of the natural phenomena. Okay, so obviously this article is a couple years old now. One of those locals is Pam Randalls, a now retired high school science teacher and naturalist guide in Haines. Randalls began counting the fall eagle migration 20 years ago as part of her teaching curriculum and can't quit. I watched them for so many years, I just have to go out to look, she admits. On an overcast afternoon in mid-October, Randalls drives her rig roughly 12 miles out to the Chilkoot River on the other of the peninsula. One of 3 rivers spawning salmon swim up before ending in the Chilkat River. Her binoculars bounce over potholes on the passenger seat. The eagles were everywhere, sitting in the trees, waiting for the tides to go down so they could get some fish. Randalls recounted later that day she laughed, describing an opportunist eagle who once snatched a fisherman's pole with a pink on the line. It's so cool to see them. The best viewing area for the eagles is the pullout off the Haines Highway at milepost 21, marked by signs. The peak of congregation typically coincides, not incidentally, with the festival in the second week of November. Photographers line the riverbed with tripods and all-weather gear to capture eagles in flight. When they spot salmon, the birds launch from their perch in the trees beside the river and land on their prey, dragging it to the adjacent shore to feed. Often, spectators catch confluence of ravens and magpies that swoop in to squabble for the same fish. Late dining grizzly bears sometimes join in on the fish feast. The average high count of eagles is about 1,000 birds a year, counted from the ground. Randall says that number is higher when aerial surveying is used. But plane data over the last 20 years is less consistent. The all-time high was in 2000, when Randall's documented just shy of 3,000 birds from 2009 to 2015. Randall's counted an average between 700 and 900 eagles. The number of eagles in the area correlates with the abundance of fish, Randall says. In recent years, poor salmon returns in some stocks or groups of salmon specific to certain areas have meant a decline in eagles. This year, the Chilkat stock of chum failed to meet the healthy population estimate, or escapement goal, set by the state biologist. State biologists measure the health of chum by counting those that come through a fish wheel on the Chilkat River, 8 miles outside of Haines, along the highway, then extrapolating from that number a goal population size. Chum salmon missed their escapement goal range for 2020 significantly by more than 50,000 fish, Zeiser says. She added that chum numbers across the state were a bust this year. State and federal agencies aren't sure why this happened, though evidence points to environmental factors such as poor ocean survival from fluctuating ocean temperatures or a lack of prey. With less chum around, Zeiser says, the eagles will have a harder time catching fish. Still, she's confident the birds will survive one way or another. Missing the escapement goal one year is not a huge concern. Falling short of it year after year is when it becomes an issue. According to the biologist, in 2017, the Board of Fisheries labeled the Chilkat king salmon a stock of concern after 5 years of diminishing returns, since more rigorous management has been put in place, contributing to a slight rebound in the stock. There are some coho salmon that also hang out and spawn in this area, Zeiser says. There should be something around for the eagles to eat, and if not, I'm sure they would adapt to eat a different food source to survive. When Tony Strong sips his coffee each morning from his home facing downriver on the Chilkat in Klukwon, he sees a host of animals who, like him, are indigenous to the land. Strong is Alaska native Tlingit, a member of Eagle Wolf clan. When I see a large group of eagles, I'm seeing emotionally part of my family, Strong says. In the ancient village of Klukwon, salmon has provided sustenance as a primary source of protein for indigenous people for thousands of years. This year has been worse than others, Strong says, of the fishing season. Last year, you'd catch up to 100 salmon in one day. Typically, at the Alaska Bald Eagle Festival, eagle release takes place within the village while a local group performs traditional Tlingit dances on the bank of the Chilkat River. Admission to the festival not only helps fund the foundation, but the influx of visitors helps support Klukwon's museum, the Chilkat Kwan Heritage Center, which in turn helps preserve traditional knowledge and important clan regalia. Klukwon sealed itself off from outside entry in March to protect village elders from COVID-19 infection, while the American Bald Eagle Foundation will remain open to visitors who follow state protocols and arrive in Haines. Director Cheryl McRoberts urges would-be festival goers to hang on until next year. Until then, locals in the Chilkat Valley are enjoying the eagles all to themselves. They're starting to accumulate on the trees next to my house, says Strong, who goes on to talk about the natural world around him. We share this home with the eagles and with the ravens. They're our neighbors. I'm happy the people recognize our home as the home of the eagles as well. And there you have it, guys. If you guys want to go see the world's biggest flocks of bald eagles, this is where you need to go. And there's even a festival, so you can just plan your day around it, support the local community as well as the natives that grew up there, and enjoy being a part of the whole experience and the whole nature. So in the comments down below, please let me know, did you guys know any of this already? Have you guys ever been to the festival? I would really love to know if you guys have and how awesome it actually is. But until next time, guys, please remember that while you're down there to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell so you never miss another video from me, as well as follow me on my other social medias, which are going to be coming up next. And I will see you guys in the next video.